She-Hulk Episode 9, the show which explains the wage gap. We start harking back to classic television, and I can't blame them. Because if I wrote something this trash, I'd want to be reminded of better entertainment as well. The whole thing is a shot-for-shot remake of the original Hulk trailers, except it comes across as really sarcastic.
Lawyer, millennial, searching for a way to balance a career and her personal life.
No, she isn't. She's gone full career and no personal life. Splitting half a plate of fries and then feeling the ick for 12 hours isn't a personal life.
Then an accidental dose of gamma radiation.
Well, it was only accidental because you changed the plot. It was supposed to be sacrificial.
And now, when Jennifer Walters grows angry or outraged,
she sees mean tweets on the internet. She loses control.
A startling metamorphosis occurs.
What, does she learn how to be accountable for her own actions? No, you fool, this may be a superhero show, but we've got to have some kind of basis in reality.
The creature is driven by rage
and narcissism
and pursued by online trolls.
So she considered logging off Twitter.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I don't like you anyway. I'm trying to remember if there's any part of the show that has made you even remotely redeemable, to be fair.
Now she is seen only for the raging spirit that dwells within her.
Because that's all she showed anyone. People saw her Hulk out and now they're scared of her and think she's just a raging, angry Hulk, and it's like, yes, because that's what you were. You lost control, chased after people, and then almost killed them. Now you are being held responsible for your own actions. Called accountability, love. She-Hulk's true kryptonite. Jen being Two-Face might be the most accurate picture of the series, but she wakes up in the same cell Abomination was in, which, considering they said he could escape anytime she wanted, I don't know why they even bothered. In walk the Three Stooges. I have no idea how they all got visitation rights. But Jen obviously has all of her priorities right, as she has done her entire life.
Did you manage to get hold of Bruce?
That's right. Wanted nothing to do with him when he was helping you, but now you've got yourself in trouble because you didn't listen to him. Oh, look. Hopefully he can bail me out of this one. What a wonderful family member you are.
Sound very calm considering I was calling the freaking Hulk himself.
That's right, men are always petrified to talk to people. Honestly, men are that petrified all the time. It's amazing we get anything done.
We need to identify every individual who hacked my private information.
Why? You tried to murder a person. I don't think somebody going into your laptop is the biggest issue right now, do you? You're a lawyer. You're supposed to appreciate the situation you're in right now.
They need to be prosecuted.
You first. But the woman was like, hold on. We need to discuss your case. And she really is the only person throughout the entire series which has ever spoken any sense.
This was a targeted attack.
I don't care whether they came from Timbuktu specifically to play knock and run on your doorbell. You almost killed a fella, and now you've got to be held accountable for your own actions.
They need to be held responsible for this.
Oh, that's rich. So far, you've not been held accountable for literally anything you've ever done throughout the entire series. How about we start in the finale? I'm up for it.
They baited you and you took the bait.
I was angry.
It's almost like the Hulk had a point, isn't it, really? Also, is that an excuse? I don't really think it is. Why did you almost kill a bloke? Well, I was angry. Okay, so you had a normal human emotion. Congratulations. Probably should have kept that under control, really.
Which is how anyone would respond in that situation.
No, because people understand actions have consequences. And so just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that you can do a certain thing, which is a lesson apparently you've not learned in 36 years.
But you're not just anyone. You are an out-of-control Hulk.
And just anyone would be held to exactly the same standards. Who knew you can't just go around assaulting people at random? It's a strange world. But Jen, having lived a life of alcoholic self-delusion, has finally come around to the idea that nobody cares about your feelings, especially when you're punching them in the face.
That's what all the witnesses saw.
Because that's what happened. Oh no! I can't believe they've got me all wrong. Now, before the show, the showrunner said, we want to explore how society perceives female rage compared to male rage. The Hulk at 10 rage is deemed to be far less of a threat than She-Hulk's at 5. Well, now we've found out the truth, and she's a complete and utter stark-raving lunatic who has absolutely no control over herself and was going to murder a man in cold blood until people pointed their guns at her face. Of course, none of it's her fault at all, and we're all supposed to feel sorry for her for some reason. No, your attempted murder has consequences. Oops. Oh, look, I never knew I'd be friends with a murderer. Is he meant to be looking so much more pissed off than she is? But she said, look, we've got an offer for a plea deal. We're not going to pursue any charges considering your rampant destructive alcoholic behavior, as long as you have a suppressor so you can't actually turn into She-Hulk ever again. Do you remember in the first episode where she asked the Hulk for specifically this thing to be applied to her? And he said, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. I mean, I made this just for me. You can't just make one for you. And then he flew off to another planet. Bruce Banner couldn't do it, he just doesn't have the knowledge. But they had their top female scientists on the case. No problem. And so with that, she gets let out, without any charges being pressed. It's amazing how lightly you can get off serious criminal charges when you live a life of privilege. But she greets her parents outside.
All right, people go to prison every day.
And you probably should have spent a few more inside. But then she loses her job as a lawyer, because you can't really be a lawyer if you go around trying to murder people all of the time.
I stole all the food and drinks from the kitchen, and I put them in your car.
She really hates it, doesn't she? Like, look, I know you got fired, but have you ever considered getting fat?
Thank you.
She's easily pleased. I may have got fired, but at the same time, have you seen these avocado towels?
I will continue to work here because they paid me nicely.
If they pay the legal aid nicely, can you imagine how much money Jen was getting? I'm sure she's put that to good use.
Don't worry about me, you guys.
Oh, don't worry, I wasn't.
We always have your back, Jen.
He says he's always got a back. He's not even helping her carry stuff out to the car.
A neighbor said they are uncomfortable knowing an unstable super being lives just next door.
I'd be uncomfortable if I lived next door to her as well. There's not enough soundproofing in the world for all the banging that goes on in that room. But she suddenly realizes that the reporters on the TV are actually outside her house, so she goes to the window and, oh look, this is all the extras we can afford. Yes, one channel has sent out a crew to cover this major international news. Seriously, what did he do? Get the catering staff to go on set? But of course Jen invested really well during a massively well-paid job. That's why she's broke the instant she gets fired and ends up back at her parents' house.
Please move back here with us.
Thanks, Dad.
Of course. But my gym stuff is in your room now. You should join me.
Yeah, Jen, you could burn off all that food you stole from work.
Workout buddies. Oh, this will be fun.
I'm not surprised that's the reaction to having to work out. So yeah, in a few days, apparently she's bankrupt and has to move out of her own apartment. Oh no, I'm really miserable. It's almost like all of the life goals I've pursued my entire life were meaningless and wrong. So the press follow her to her parents' house, and her dad at least proves himself to be a boss once again.
Hey, get off my damn lawn! I got water pressure for days.
Best character in the show, by far. We go back to Jen's childhood room with a Legally Blonde poster on the wall, beginning to explain a lot, just like the California poster and university flag on the wall. We may be beginning to see why her life went awry, but she finds herself in front of a conspiracy board complete with pictures and bits of string. Seriously, if this becomes your life, you need to lay off the Starbucks lattes.
So finding the identity of these guys has been like one dead end after another.
The plot of this show has literally descended into let's go round and find internet trolls. When people said every Marvel show doesn't have to be about the face of the universe, they didn't mean this. What next? Are you going to get a plumber in to fix your pipes? Admittedly, when talking about She-Hulk, that was probably a bad example. And also, probably a video online already. Hulk King may have even made that one himself.
We know that Hulk King is the admin on Intelligencia, but
Oh no, not the admin. What a criminal mastermind who has done such horrific actions has his analytics show increased traffic, keeps HR files, and watch out for this guy. Angry, sad face. Oh, with detective work like this, I can't imagine why you haven't discovered them sooner.
site security is annoyingly airtight.
The site security of Reddit is airtight. For who? You're a legal secretary. What do you know about site security? If I wanted advice on where I should go for a budget suit, I'd seek your advice. But when it comes to tracking down an international group of computer hackers, it's probably not your area of expertise.
Looking into the platform, and it is owned by several shell companies
You heard that in a movie, didn't you? And thought it'd be intelligent if you included it in your own TV show.
operating outside of U.S. jurisdiction.
So like most companies in the world then. Registering a company in another country isn't difficult. I don't know why this is treated as if it's some major revelation. Oh no, another country exists in the universe. What am I going to do now? She's a local small-time lawyer dealing with parking tickets. Why is she going to prosecute computer hackers?
Like, how am I supposed to sue these guys if I don't know who they are?
Okay,
Why would you be suing them in the first place? These are criminal offenses. Why have you not told the police and got the police to investigate this? The most you could get out of a suit is civil damages. Is that really what you want, or do you want criminal charges pressed against them? I genuinely think these writers do not understand the difference between criminal and civil law.
Intelligencia is made up of exclusively dumb dudes.
Oh, the entire thing is just made up of dumb men. It's those dumb men which are just, they can't do anything. Have they not realized that I don't have dangly bits and that just increases my intelligence by 30 points? The same 30 points that means I can't track them down because their site seems to have incredibly airtight security. Can we just pick one? Are they dumb dudes or incredibly intelligent supervillains? I can't quite keep up with your big brain takes.
Find them and we will destroy them by any and all means.
Legally.
You weren't bothered about suing them when you were trying to murder them in cold blood in front of people with guns pointed at your face, which it's still surprising you're not imprisoned for.
Defamation.
What have they said that's defamed you? Because defamation only happens if it's not true, but we've got loads of evidence that you're a slut.
Charged with unauthorized access to a protected computer.
So a slap on the wrist then. What kind of civil damages do you think you're going to get out of that? Because I don't think it'll be that much. But at that point, her mum comes in, and I can't believe the scene we're about to get is just, like, written as if it's perfectly normal. Because she doesn't just bring in food. Oh no. It turns out Jen's been like this for a while.
Get a kick out of this video that Jen and her friends made in law school.
Mom.
No, don't show them that. Don't show them what I was like in college, because it's exactly how I was yesterday.
No.
Yes, the apple doesn't drop far from the tree. They always say they need fathers in their homes. It turns out if your mother's the same, it doesn't help. There's a lesson in there somewhere. But at least her mum does have one reasonable question.
When is this work going to be out of my living room?
Yeah, Jen, when are you going to piss off out my house? When are you going to stop chasing shadows on Reddit and actually try and do something productive for once? But Jen's answer is even more interesting.
As soon as I get justice for everything that's happened.
Are you sure you want justice for everything that's happened, including the stuff you've done, like squashing people from landing through roofs, smashing down an entire car park, jumping through walls, almost murdering people in front of police? Are you sure you actually want justice for everything? Or is it just other people you want to be held accountable, Jen? Careful what you wish for. But mate's like, hi, can you send me the incredibly embarrassing blackmail video you've just shown me, please? Thank you. I've always wanted proof of what she was like when she was a kid so I can use it against her in the future. Her best mate is horrible.
I am suing both of you for emotional distress.
Does seem to be your first response to everything. But it turns out her ex-colleague has now gone on the news and is saying things about it.
She was psycho way before she got those superpowers.
No lies detected. I remember episode 1, she was a wreck.
I blame her grandmother.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh? How have you managed to reach this age and not understand anything about your own personality? In the first episode, Bruce went to space and everyone was incredibly sad that you didn't go with him. But Jen has decided she's not going to change the habit of a lifetime. So she's going to wallow in a pit of her own despair.
Jennifer!
I hate it here, even though all of my decisions that led me here are all mine. You know, it is interesting how all of the problems throughout the entire She-Hulk series could all have been avoided in the multiverse, where Jen just got married and had 2.4 kids. Oh no, if only I had my husband here to support me. But her mum's like, Jen, can you come and move furniture for me? It needs to be over by the window. Of course, Jen gives the answer of a lifetime.
Closer to the window.
No!
I don't know if that's because of a suppressor or she's just lazy.
Wait, you can't be Girl Hulk anymore.
It's She-Hulk!
Yes, we have discovered the only thing that could make Jen want to be She-Hulk by taking it away from her. No, I don't want to be a superhero. Okay, you can't be a superhero. But I want one. She wants all of the benefits and none of the responsibility or accountability. I don't know if we're sensing a theme here.
Was, but never again. I know is what I said I wanted, but this doesn't feel right.
Is it because it got taken away from you and now you want it? Seriously, this show is like the one of how not to live your life. We could show She-Hulk to 20-year-olds and just save an entire generation of people from a living hell. Welcome, society has lied to you. I hope you enjoy your stay.
This isn't even a reluctant superhero story. I'm just getting screwed over.
It's not a reluctant superhero story because you're not a superhero. You didn't want to be a superhero, and you're not one. You're actually a horrible human being, not a hero. You have none of the characteristics of being a hero. You don't want to be, and you never sacrifice anything because you're incredibly selfish. You do not have what it takes to be a hero. Oh, but I want to be. Diddums.
I'm just getting screwed over.
You're not even getting screwed over. This is just accountability for the actions that you decided to take voluntarily. This is one of those life comes at you fast moments, where you realize, actually, I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, and just no one held me responsible for them until this very point where it's finally caught up to me. Oops. What did happen about that car park that you completely and utterly destroyed, by the way?
Is this what you guys want?
Nobody wants this. And I'm She-Hulk's biggest fan. I just think that the realization that your life is miserable and empty because of everything you've pushed for over the last 9 weeks probably should have come a lot earlier in the series. Maybe around the time when Hulk went, do you want to be a superhero and help people? And you were like, no, but I just want to be a lawyer. Maybe if you'd gone out and saved people rather than tried to murder them, I might have had more sympathy.
Jennifer Walters is a woman at a new low. She has no more...
I have no idea what's going on, why it's going on, or why anyone thinks this funny, but apparently it is.
We're not doing a narrator. We're not that off the rails.
I think I'll be the judge of that one, love. This show really does highlight why so few people break the fourth wall. It's incredibly annoying. And they have a habit of thinking they're doing this really meta-intellectual stuff over the top of their really empty TV series. Oh, we'll get into that. Don't worry about that one. But with that, she gets out her phone and thinks, oh yeah, I'm miserable. I think I should try and spread that to other people. I really need help. So maybe I should contact the guy I'm calling Smog Hulk. Because even though I've put him down, punched him in the face and insulted him, he'll definitely want to come and help me, right? Now I need him. Jen, the character that uses people for her own self-interest. What a hero!
He's AWOL.
He's met you. Let's be honest, anyone with caller ID is never going to be answer the phone if it's you. So she scrolls through her massive list of contacts, or past all the people that definitely will not help her because they've met her, and finally finds the one person she can rely on. Another criminal murderer. Does take one to know one. So although she does text him to see if she can stay a few days at their place, she decides, I don't need to wait for a reply. I'm just going to rudely go over there on my own.
Well, you said come anytime. This is a time.
I have no idea why everyone ghosts you. At this point, we're like, well, she has one night stands, and you just think, how does anyone manage to stand the night? Let's just hope she's unconscious for a lot of it. So with that, she packs up.
I'm not running from my problems. It's a mental health break.
I'm gonna need one of them after this series. And to be fair, I'm not sure it can be counted as running from your problems when you're running into the arms of a serial killer. Kind of out of the frying pan into the fire with that one. But her friend is doing the complex espionage of uploading a video to Reddit. And this entire post is meant to be horrible. It's supposed to be taking the piss out of people that do this kind of thing, and you're just like, yeah, but which part of it isn't a statement of fact? Please. Seriously, can we stop making them seem perfectly reasonable? But she immediately gets a direct message inviting her to a private event. Yes, this event was so secretive and private that you can get access via a person that they've never met before, have no idea who they are, and you get invited to it instantly. Someone recruit her for the CIA, she's an incredible asset. He also uses the word deets, and any scriptwriter which has the word deets in their vocabulary probably shouldn't be writing scripts. And the comments on the video include such gold such as, she spent school dancing instead of studying. Again, can we stop just stating facts from the people who are supposed to be the villains? Would have hit it then. Now she's an angry beast. Leaving timestamps and good find Broseph. And we can include Broseph in my earlier Deets comment. No human being talks like this on the face of the planet, but her friend comes to an interesting realization after this.
Okay, well, that was easy. Or am I a genius?
No, you're not a genius. No one who's a genius wears tombstones on their ears.
Hell yeah, I'll be there.
Who talks like this? Where are these people? How much have they had to drink? Oh no, what has she seen? Hope to see you at the event, bro. Dun dun dun. He thinks she's a man. He has literally no reason to think she's a man, and she could just go, I'm not a dude, and everything would be fine. These people are anti-She-Hulk. It has nothing to do with being a man. But we don't have the skill to write that, so here we are. So she realizes, to her horror, there's only one thing for it. I'm gonna have to contact a guy with dangly bits.
Pug, are you still here? I need a favor.
I'm sure they're not going to use that as an opportunity to humiliate him at all. Oh, I have faith. But Jen drives off to Blonsky's place, and she meets the reformed member of Intelligencia, who has no idea what's going on, even though he should do. No, this doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, I'll take you to the guest room, have a hug. So she's come to Blonsky for help. She needs him, and she starts reading his book.
Sir, what does that make you? This book sucks.
And shows the gratitude you'd expect from a self-entitled little brat. Meanwhile, loads of cars are turning up to the Intelligencia meeting. Their plan is that he's going to be in the meeting and find out all the information he can, while she stays outside. He doesn't look very happy with this plan. And, there's a reason for that.
You should go in there and mingle. Don't worry, I'm gonna be on the phone with you the entire time.
How's that meant to help him? He's a man going into a room surrounded by men. What advice can you possibly give him? You're someone that thinks people use the word brosif. Look, I know you spent the entire series emasculating this guy, but if you just keep him off the avocados for a couple of days, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Wouldn't it look suspicious that I'm walking around with an earbud in?
Yes, it would be.
No, trust me, you're not gonna be the only one, okay?
Spoiler alert. He is the only one. Of course, the show will never reference that because it forgets its own script 2 seconds later.
Please don't make me do this.
Oh, please don't make me go out and have human contact. Don't you understand? I've got dangly bits. I just can't handle it. They are making this poor guy look like a whiny little child. I don't know how much you got paid for this dude, but surely it's not worth the damage to your career.
Remember to always refer to women as females.
Why? Actually, we don't like to be called females anymore. We prefer the term Womaxons. So he goes into the meeting, and as you can see, no one's got earbuds in, because why would they? And it basically just seems like a party, but we're gonna pretend there's something darker behind it, under the surface. Oh no, at this meeting of dark masterminds, they've even got the audacity to Sell merch. Big men dream big. How very dare they? These criminal masterminds must be stopped. So she's trying to give him instructions on how to act like a man. No, I'm not joking. That's how much they've destroyed this man's character. He has to be told how to act by someone who presumably carries his balls around in her purse.
Real choppy.
Don't pretend like you can't hear me.
Let's be honest, no one blames him, love. Most of us are surprised he managed to survive the car journey on the way here. We're lucky he didn't dive out going down the motorway. So he goes around and starts joining different groups. And these people are saying horrible, disgusting, villainous, evil things.
And I'm not just saying that because she's a female. I would have the exact same criticisms if she was a man.
How dare you? Imagine not having different rules depending on whether they had dangly bits or not. What are you, some kind of bigot? But she's like, come on, man, you can do it. I know it's been a while since you've experienced anyone with a testosterone level above the age of an 8-year-old woman called Betty, but I believe in you. Somewhere deep inside, there's a memory of what it used to be like. Here we go, this ought to be good. Okay, he doesn't have the balls. At this point, I'm thinking it's literally, I can't do it, Nikki. I can't. Have you not seen them? Some of them have beards. It's disgusting.
Let's do it, Pug.
Okay, come on, Pug. Big ones.
Come on, I believe in you. You can do it. Go and communicate with the other half of the population of Earth. Something no one has ever dared do before. Except Jen, who's had a vast amount of experience with all of them. Come on, you can do it. Let's see what he comes out with.
Females, am I right?
What a boss. The only thing we learn from this scene is that that guy's chest hair is definitely CGI. Because at this point, he's giving the Try Guys a run for the money. But at that point, everything gets revealed. Turns out Todd's here. One of the biggest twists that everyone in the world saw coming is Todd.
Mother pugger.
Suppose it is Disney Plus, they can't have him saying that after all. But it's like, dude, you're one of us. Of course you are. Yeah, I do that all the time. Seriously, what happened to handshakes? No, dude, bro. Broseph, bro.
You heard it from me first. He rules, and he's hot.
That's another twist that I think we all saw coming, right?
She-Hulk better than the Hulk.
No.
Is she as strong as him?
Well, she shouldn't be.
She as smart as him?
Well, she shouldn't be.
Wouldn't even have her powers without him.
That's also true.
Right? So why do we have to act like she earned everything?
Well, she didn't earn it. She just got it from a few drops of blood randomly.
Here's where I'm at. Superpowers should go to the best person suited for the job.
That would actually be a great idea if that actually could happen. I mean, a lot of superheroes get their powers from other ways. Like, oh, I got bitten by a spider. But if there was a way to give them to the best person for the job, yeah, that'd be great. Are you trying to claim that meritocracy is a bad idea? Mind you, I can understand why, especially if I thought that under a meritocratic system, other people would get the jobs. Yeah, if I was concerned about that, then I'd try and crap on it in a TV show. That's a very strategic way of looking at it.
I think she got everything through nepotism.
She got everything through nepotism.
Oh, look, they harked back to the first episode when some random guy said it to me. Even though it literally doesn't make sense because it's her DNA. It's not a job, it's a biological characteristic. Why are you agreeing? It doesn't make sense.
Good job.
What do you mean, good job? It was a stupid thing to say. It was even more stupid they agreed. Only worked because of the script.
You think she boned Holloway?
Did he buy her half a plate of chips?
That's their boss.
Okay, did he buy her a full plate of chips?
Yes.
Hey, she's the best mate. She'll be best placed to know if she actually did. Personally, I trust her. I'm also just playing the odds. It's more likely than not, let's be honest.
Like you're mad about it.
Why would he be mad about it?
Yeah, and it pisses me off.
Why? Why are they agreeing? I'm just wondering, was it not possible to find someone that's ever interacted with a man to have written this scene for you?
We are vibing, my man.
Gross.
We are vibing, my man. Hey, if you make a season 2 of this with the same scriptwriters, I can guarantee you exactly the same level of quality. Congratulations. It's a huge win for Disney Plus this series, I can tell. But he asked Todd, how did you get involved with this group? And everyone was like, he doesn't even know. He's the Hulk King. Because, you know, if I was a supervillain leader of a criminal gang, I'd just tell everyone my secret identity. That way I can get out to a person who literally only sent one video onto the website.
Dude, I created Intelligencia.
I don't know if this was meant to be a big reveal, but it wasn't, considering his voice was obviously the voice that was reading it out at the end of the last episode. But yeah, it went through a voice changer, but it was obviously his voice.
I'm Hulk King.
Oh my God.
Okay, judging by the reaction, we definitely weren't supposed to know that. I thought that was meant to have been revealed at the end of the last episode. I didn't know it was a secret, folks.
Oh.
And at that point, her phone disconnects. She can't talk to him. It's like, oh no, what's he going to do in a room surrounded by people who are just like him, actually?
Oh, come on. It's okay. He can improvise.
Why would he need to improvise? All he has to do is talk to people. This isn't complicated.
The guy can't improv.
Why would he need to improv? He's not acting. He genuinely is a man. Well, at least as far as I know. Like I say, that chest hair might be CGI. But they decide to circle up, and now it's time for an inspirational speech. Oh yeah, we revealed to the world what She-Hulk really is. Although I'm not really sure how much needed to be revealed. When you're like that, believe me, everybody knows.
We're real action, and we're just getting started.
What are you gonna do next? Point out that she can't cook? What was that meant to be? But Jen's in the kitchen talking to the guy who assaulted her that she completely forgot about. And of course, Jen being Jen's come to a stunning realization.
But I don't think anybody could really understand what I'm going through right now.
Yeah, absolutely no one could understand me. You're such a special little unique snowflake with such serious problems. People found out how easy it was, and I don't know how to cope. There's only 365 days in a year. I don't have time to answer all of the messages.
Except Emil, since he went through literally the exact same thing.
Sounds like
That's true. In prison, he had 7 people on the go as well, so he knows how you feel.
cooking up one heck of a group share tomorrow.
That's one name for it. Also, wouldn't put it past her. So many people, so little time. Group share's basically the only way she can keep up. Which is actually, I just want to talk to Emil about this. Do you know where he is? He's like, oh, he's giving some speech to, like, a private engagement down at the lodge. Why he doesn't know what the private engagement is, I have no idea, considering he should be part of it. But it's time for their inspirational speech, because all horrible criminal organizations do bonding exercises and inspirational speeches, especially when it comes from Abomination himself. Honestly, if I was the Abomination, I would have built a door that fit me. But in he comes and starts giving him emotional speech about, you need to be the best you can be.
Really an honor to be your humble life coach for the evening.
Yeah, because if I wanted a life coach, it'd obviously be a massive green mutant. But as he's giving the speech, Jen's approaching, and we get such horrific violence as this.
You were all unsatisfied with your place in the world. Don't ask permission. Be powerful.
Oh no, the horror. What a horrible message to the youth of the day. Be powerful. Seriously, this is what the writers think is one of the greatest threats of our time. Masculinity. It's a bizarre show, this. It's a bizarre show. But Jen walks in and is absolutely amazed.
The only boss.
Oh no, men! The horror. But she is truly horrified when she sees the Abomination is breaking the terms of his conditions, despite the fact that she's not his lawyer anymore.
Emil?
Jennifer.
And remember the fact that this is a group which is solely designed to be anti-She-Hulk, and yet when she walks into the room, the only thing they do is go, oh no, look at her over there. So scary a villain. Oh no, these evil villains, I don't know how we're going to combat them. And when confronted with his arch rival, how does the leader respond?
Jen Walters!
He's pure evil.
What are you doing here? Actually, I don't care.
Really has summed up the audience for the show there, hasn't she? I just don't care. Roll on season 2, though, come on. I believe in you, Disney.
You've been transforming into the Abomination.
Why do you care? You're not his lawyer anymore.
I do speaking engagements. Nothing bad, strictly for profit.
Oh, well, as long as it's for profit, I don't really mind if you break the law.
I vouched for you.
Who cares if you vouched for him? You're not his lawyer anymore. You're now a criminal. I'm not even sure you can do law anymore. Can you be a lawyer with a criminal record? I actually have no idea. Apparently you can, except for 3 states, Texas, Kansas, and Mississippi, where they will explicitly forbid you with felony convictions. Hey, you've just learned more about the law than the writers of this show will ever know.
Jen, I'm sorry that you're upset.
What a boss.
Was there a real apology in there somewhere that I missed?
No, it's because nobody feels the need to apologize to you. You're just a little ball of self-entitled fifis about how the world's out to get you. Oh, woe is me. Somebody held me accountable for my own criminal actions. How am I ever going to cope? Why would anyone apologize to you about anything? I'm sorry that your incredibly insecure and easily offended fifis got hurt. Now why don't you go over there while I carry on engaging in my own actions during my own life? Cheers. But a mate smashes in through the door, you know, real stealthily like, when this is meant to be an undercover operation. It's like, we need to get out of here fast. This is an Intelligencia meeting. That's right, this criminal organization that we've been hunting is so dangerous that we can just stumble into their main meeting and yell out, this is an Intelligencia meeting, and absolutely no one will do anything to us or harm us in any way, because we're making a mountain out of a molehill. At this point, I don't know whether the villain's meant to be Intelligencia or Jen's incompetence.
Todd created the site. He's hulking.
Oh no, he's hulking! A reveal! Again, that we already know. And she should know as well, because you could tell from his voice in the last episode.
You're hulking?
I don't know why you had to repeat it. Did you not understand the first time? But he's like, oh, remember Josh? Yeah, I hired him to do all that after all. Oh, and he got your blood as well, and this made me a super serum that now I can turn into a Hulk. No, this is the plot.
I didn't just get handed superpowers. I had to earn them.
I'm not sure earned is the right word, but he's definitely worked harder for them than she has, if that's your point. But he jabs himself with the super serum. Don't ask me what's going on there. I don't know.
This is not gonna work, right?
I mean, it better. We might get a good action scene out of it.
We're not actually doing this.
Don't you just love it when she breaks the fourth wall? It's really engaging, folks.
Why is it?
Oh no! Oh, I'm turning into a Hulk! And with that, the showrunners hooked up 3 PS2s and got them to render for at least 20 minutes. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks. This is perfectly normal.
This can't possibly be where the season was going.
Why? Do you want to go back to where you wanted to buy a suit? Because that episode was really interesting. Or we could have Hulks fighting each other. I know which I'd prefer.
Yeah, come at me, bro!
Let's be honest, it's still better than buying a suit. But Titania's arrived too, smashing through the wall and things are heating up.
Come on, Titania too? This isn't messy enough?
Oh, is someone upset that she's not the center of attention anymore? Remember whose show this really is. I don't need cameos, and I get really pissed off when they appear. Why don't you get Wong back in so you can get a week of Twitter armor again? That'll be fun. So now he's turned into a Hulk. Apparently he can't control himself and he goes to fight her, but gets saved by Abomination. Not the best one for strategic planning though. His next advice is this. Get her! Like, seriously, why? When she walked into the room, you just pointed and jeered, but now he's like, get her, folks! And you all think, what, you can take on a Hulk and Abomination? Are you insane? Or just badly written? So they charge her and Abomination just starts smacking him to the side. Well, that guy's dead. And then Hulk smashes in through the ceiling. I mean, it wasn't the worst entry in the world. And Abomination's just like, oh, it's not what you think. And suddenly he has to go and fight the Hulk, meaning that no one can defend Jen anymore. You would think the Hulk would be smarter than this. But when you see who writes him, you can kind of understand why. So Hulk and Abomination fight. But don't worry, just as things are about to get interesting, Jen is always here to ruin her own show.
What is even happening here? None of these storylines make any sense.
Welcome to She-Hulk, folks. It's been like this for 9 weeks. I'm not sure why you're suddenly surprised.
Is this working for you?
Welcome. At this point, you can almost feel the smog radiating from the screen. You can think about what they were thinking in the writer's room. This is meta. This is intellectual. This is going to be the next generation of television series. Were they proud of this? Because we get the loading screen, and then next, she starts popping out of the windows.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Well, I was briefly hoping it was over, but we've still got a while to go yet.
This menu is not gonna stop me.
Unfortunately.
Just gonna break this inhibitor real quick.
So Jen breaks her inhibitor, turns into She-Hulk, and smashes her way out of the screen. Before she decides she's going to enter another window, which is Studios Assembled. And here we are. In the real world. No, I mean literally, she enters the real world. It's so meta and amazing. Marvel have never done this before. This is incredible, groundbreaking television. And still trash. So she starts walking through Marvel Studios and everyone at Marvel are just like, oh, this is perfectly normal. Yeah, she's just popped out of the television. It's fine. This is how they'd react. There's 2 benefits of this. First, they can have a walk around the lot, which saves on sets, so it's a lot cheaper. And secondly, if no one likes it, we can just call it satire and pretend they don't get the joke. Whatever happens, it's definitely not the writer's fault that this isn't funny. So she finds the She-Hulk production door, which seems to be just a normal door with a paper sign on it. Huge amounts of money spent on this. And then we uncover hell, the She-Hulk writer's room. Now, Jessica Gao is in this. I don't know whether the other writers are, but something seems a little off about this scene. I don't know if you can tell what it is. Yes, that's right. It's got men in it. I don't know if it's true. I didn't know they were involved in production, but if it is true, the only way I can explain it is by saying they're Californians.
What do we get if the entirety of the second season is one extended dream sequence?
No viewers. Maybe an aneurysm. Basically the same things as the first series, so hey, go ahead, make my day. I do like that they're talking about the second series in the first season, though. Bit preemptive, innit? They say don't count your chickens before they're hatched, but sometimes it's the only chance you get. So She-Hulk just walks straight in. I can't be the only person that's not surprised that they wrote the script on Post-it notes. It's only 20 minutes long, it doesn't take them much paper. Do you know where that is? No, you don't, because you've not seen the CGI yet. They're simultaneously amazed that she's appeared, but don't say anything. Oh, what's happened? No, we're just impressed by her and her wonder, her majesty, the incredible wonder, which is the alcoholic, miserable Hulk.
What kind of stupid finale is this?
Okay, maybe she's right after all. Let's see where this goes.
We thought it'd be really cool and unexpected.
Fun.
Yes, we could subvert your expectations.
Kind of a twist.
A twist?
Yeah.
A twist? I was saying this story since the Swipe episode. You could have just said you wanted some action in your show for the first time in all of history. That would have been a way better excuse.
Bad guy steals my blood in order to give himself superpowers.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the stronger stories of your series. It certainly beats I Need a Suit.
Where did you come up with that original idea? Was that from every other superhero story ever?
As opposed to what? Middle-aged woman goes to therapy? Where did you get that from? Every single writer's room in all of Hollywood?
There are certain things that are supposed to happen in a superhero story.
Yeah, like you should have a superhero. Emphasis on the hero. This entire series hasn't had a superhero. She-Hulk isn't a superhero. She's not a hero. She's a horrible person. And then Jen obviously proves that she is in perfect control of her anger and rage. You see, she's just been doing it so often. Way more than Hulk.
Exactly.
Yeah, calm down, love.
Why don't we just do things our own way?
Our own way or your way? Or, and I know this is a revolutionary idea, but bear with me. Why don't we do what the audience wants rather than the way that you want? Because it actually doesn't matter what you want to do or what your way is. The only thing that matters is what entertains the audience, which seems to be the one thing you do not think about at all during your entire writing process.
This is the story that Kevin wants.
I don't care what Kevin wants. I care what the audience wants.
Okay, then I want to talk to Kevin.
And what are you going to do to Kevin? Smash his desk as well, like a petulant little childish brat? Congratulations, you managed to make your finale She-Hulk even more annoying than previously. Of which the only impact is that everyone starts cheering for literally anyone that's aligned against her. When you make a character like this, everyone just wants them to be taken down a peg or two. To actually be held accountable for their actions. Something which She-Hulk never has been. The one time she was beginning to be held accountable for her actions and the effects it's had on her own life, we get this. She decides to leave and start demanding to speak to the manager. Welcome to She-Karen. We'll start bragging about Kevin. Oh, we love Kevin. Kevin's so immeasurable. Oh, Kevin's amazing. Oh. Calm down, folks. If your tongue goes any higher, you may not be able to get it back out again.
I would murder you to protect Kevin.
I mean, to be fair, you probably wouldn't find many people that would stop you.
This is very creepy, the way you're talking about him. It's not healthy.
Because if there's one thing She-Hulk knows, it's healthy relationships. It's not like we spent an entire episode with her, obsessing over a phone not ringing. Yes, She-Hulk. The fountain of healthy social advice. But with that, she decides to go and talk to Kevin. How she knows where Kevin is, nobody knows, and it's not explained. Turn your brain off, it'll be fine. So she walks over to this secretary and asks to see Kevin. Then we just get her scrolling through the non-disclosure agreement.
I got She-Hulk here.
Non-disclosure agreements are really big. It's so funny, because, you know, you've all been signing those Marvel non-disclosure agreements, yeah. You can really relate to how big they are, aren't they? That's really funny. Comedy's meant to be relatable, folks. Let's not make jokes about NDA agreements for Marvel. It's not the widest audience. Certainly not your target audience. Or it shouldn't be, but I do think this series was entirely written for their own writer's room, and just for them. That's their humor, their in-jokes, just comedy for them. Unfortunately, they'll find out they actually have to write things for normal human beings. It's kind of a problem nowadays in Hollywood. But rather than sending her into Kevin, he just calls security, which she promptly batters into oblivion. We do get the stereotype of the female security officer just jumping on her back, though. So pleased you're breaking those gender stereotypes. She's incredibly useful. But finally, we hit the land of Kevin and his massive screens.
What is this?
I mean, I'd probably say it was Kevin's office. Are you telling me you know the exact layout of the Marvel offices, but you've never seen a movie before?
Hello, Jennifer.
Kevin?
Look, the plot for this episode leaked, and it was cliche and awful enough that I thought, yeah, that's probably true. But seeing it really is an entirely other level of crap, isn't it?
It stands for Knowledge Enhanced Visual Interconnectivity Nexus.
Okay, but have you considered the possibility that nobody cares?
Were you expecting a man?
No, because I've seen the show, and one might have made it funny.
Yeah, why would I expect a giant AI brain and not a man?
Because you've read the script? Does the show seem like it was written by humans or even for humans? Or was it just a series of events that weren't really tied together that kind of happened? This entire series could have easily been written by an AI. That is how it comes across. Satire is meant to be parody or beyond belief. You're not actually meant to think, yeah, they could have done that, actually.
But you must first transform back to Jennifer.
Why?
You are very expensive.
It's a budget joke. Look, we get it. CGI is expensive, but it's not funny. I know you think you're being really meta and intellectual, but it's a bit like a magic trick. Being a magician is the most honest profession because you're lying to people, but they know you're lying to them. it still doesn't make it interesting if you see the trick being done. The magic is in not knowing how it's done. You're not supposed to see behind the curtain. This isn't good television. I'm not supposed to be thinking about things like budget constraints, why she's She-Hulk in some scenes and not others, because it's too expensive. You don't want your audience to consider this in the future scenes. There's a reason why magicians don't give away their secrets, because it ruins the effect. So the robot goes on about how he's an entertainment algorithm and how his algorithm created all of the entire series. And again, it's meant to be funny, but it just comes across as true. It feels like a soulless machine made this show. They just set the algorithm to write someone who was miserable and had no self-awareness.
And it produces near-perfect products.
Have you watched any of your Disney television shows? Or any of your recent movies? How about the last Thor movie? Have you seen that? Perfect, eh?
Near perfect.
To be fair, I think you delivered that with the exact amount of sarcasm that was required, so congratulations.
Some are better than others.
Yeah, but you shouldn't judge things relatively. You should judge things by the same scale. It doesn't matter if Loki was better than She-Hulk. If all of them were crap, I'd much rather judge things by how entertained I am than relatively.
But I leave that debate up to the internet.
That's smart, because, you're clearly not a very good judge of quality.
Kevin, I'm not happy with what's happening in my story.
Who cares? Like, you are entirely irrelevant here. You literally don't matter at all. And I say that in every kind of way. As She-Hulk, as the actress, even as the creator of the show, your opinion is irrelevant. The only opinion that matters in this regard is that of the customer.
You do not get to choose.
Based. Hey, I'm beginning to like Kevin. He's growing on me.
Why not?
Because you're not the one paying for the product. Your opinion about any of this is irrelevant because you don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter because you're not paying money for it. You need money to make the shows, therefore you must satisfy the people with the money. If the people with the money don't like the shows, they don't give you money. You go bankrupt. Business dead. Only the people giving you money matter.
It's my show.
That's irrelevant. You're irrelevant. You don't help the company make money. The customer does.
Well, regardless of creative ownership, can we agree that it is a legal comedy?
No, largely because you don't know anything about the law, and you can only call it a comedy if it's actually funny. Where is anybody laughed? I'm open to suggestions. I've been asking for the creators to do a watch party so I can try and see where they laugh. Because I don't think even they laugh at their own show.
Then I would like to give my closing argument.
Oh no, she's going to try and do some legal stuff outside of a courtroom, even though they know and have said that they didn't know how to do it. So she kicks off. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is known for its big spectacles, its high dramatic action. I'm like, okay, yes, that's true. That was one of its main draws.
Often said that Marvel movies all end the same way.
Wait, what, trash?
Following some unwritten rule that you have to throw a bunch of plot and flash.
Yeah, don't want to do that. Don't want to be throwing plot and action and flash into a superhero movie. Ugh, who wants plot, eh? Get that out of here, dirty plot. What are you on about? Oh yeah, you prefer a show where it's about doing laundry. I remember now. I'm amazed your show hasn't been more successful.
I propose we don't have to do that.
Okay then, dear, what do you propose? Are we back to the laundry? Maybe just a show about writing legal documents.
It distracts from the story.
You don't have a story. You've just said that you didn't want to inject plot into the final series. Now you're on about story? What is your story? What is the story of She-Hulk? It's there, sad, lonely, drinking yourself into a stupor, desperately doubling down on, I want my career to be a lawyer, while despising your own life.
My life fell apart right when I was learning to be both Jen and She-Hulk.
No, your life fell apart when you just started to turn into a rampant whore, when you decided you were going to do nothing satisfying or fulfilling with your life, and instead, we're just going to double down on your career for the rest of time, leaving you sad, miserable, and lonely. Someone who's constantly just getting with whoever the next person is over half a plate of chips, wondering why you can't fill the hole inside you. No, I don't mean that one. But please, let's tell everyone else about how your life fell apart because of other people.
Those are my stakes, Kevin.
They're not your stakes, they're your mistakes. The show should be about you taking accountability for your mistakes and learning from them, rather than just blaming everyone else for your problems.
The KEVIN is processing this new data.
You don't have new data, you've just got her whining at you.
What is the ending you propose?
Whatever it is, we should definitely ignore it and move on.
Well, can we not do Todd gets Hulk powers?
Why? You're jealous? I'm not the center of attention anymore! Last thing we want in a superhero show is a fight.
Powers aren't the villain. He is.
You can't have a villain that pathetic. Like, She-Hulk can't even beat some random guy on the internet She-Hulk can't beat an internet troll. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, and Bruce, woo.
Oh yeah, we can't have Bruce coming in and taking all of my glamour. He's a way bigger star than I am. I want to be the center of attention. It's all about me.
From literal outer space to save the day in my story?
Can't have him saving the day in my story. It's all about me.
Supposed to return to explain what he was doing.
No,
we don't need to hear about Hulk. We don't need to hear about the star of the piece.
But we were going to introduce...
Save it for the movie.
All me.
Recalculating. And Abomination.
After all that, I just want him to hold himself accountable.
Oh my, you have got to be kidding me. After all that, you want him to hold himself accountable? You've never been held accountable for a single action in your entire life. What do you think this is? What do you think you, coming into the real world, even is? The one time that you were held accountable for your actions in this show, you have now changed all of reality to stop it. That's how scared of accountability and responsibility you are. And yet you're saying that Abomination should, are you? Yes, everyone else just needs to hold themselves accountable. But not for any of you. Don't want any of that pesky accountability for you. What a hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we done here?
Oh, we're done here. We are entirely done here.
Not mind seeing Daredevil again.
Oh god, she's a rampant whore. The writers' room definitely have a thing for Daredevil, don't they? This is basically their own inputted fan fiction. This is entirely 100% a self-insert plot the entire way. You didn't need a TV series, you needed a blog.
Historically, we've been light in that department.
For good reason, because basically nobody cares. You're more than welcome to keep your rampant degeneracy to yourself. I don't know why you expect me to care about what a fantasy character does off screen when the cameras aren't there, because by definition, it doesn't exist. Which means you can take all of that and skip it, because nothing of value was lost, and it gives you plenty of time to actually write a plot.
Oh, well, I've got you here.
Oh, wait, you are sitting?
What's with all the daddy issues?
What, you mean like yours?
We got Tony Stark.
And yours.
Thor.
And yours.
Loki.
Yours.
Same daddy, same issues.
Oh, boy.
What about yours?
Boy.
Star-Lord.
What about yours? Why are you saying that all the men have these issues? What about yours? Oh, well, she doesn't have them, you see, because we wrote her a father. Okay. How about the writers? How about the people inserting themselves into this character?
Jen, please stop.
He definitely speaks for the audience. I kind of like Kevin, I've got to be honest.
Getting the X-Men.
Yeah, we're going to ruin the X-Men. Oh, don't go a thumbs up. I've heard it's passive-aggressive and the millennials don't like it. Although I will say that is one hell of a thumbnail.
I do have some thoughts about the direction of season 2.
I did say don't count your chickens, but you're so confident you're going to get a season 2, and I'm so hopeful for it. I kind of admire the self-obsessed aggrandizement. But Kevin's like, having met you, I'm never going to talk to you again. You're never going to be able to get in here again. The bug which got you here in the first place has now been fixed. No, piss off.
You obliterated the thrilling ending Kevin formulated.
Yeah, that's right. She's ruined everything. The perfect metaphor for her own show. There is absolutely no good idea that this writer's room can't ruin entirely.
Well, yeah, that's what Hulks do. We smash things.
Well, you've definitely proven that on this show.
I smash fourth walls and bad endings.
And half the population.
And sometimes Matt Murdock.
And everybody else.
See you on the big screen.
Really?
No, you're never getting a movie, because if you did, it'll bomb and you'll lose millions of pounds. Come on, Disney, do it. I believe in you. Let's burn the money.
No.
Aw, whatever.
Kind of a letdown, that, actually, yeah. Just see piles of money go up in smoke. So she goes back into her reality, and obviously we've skipped the interesting part, which was the fight, and we're going straight back to the bitching and complaining, blaming everyone else for all of her problems, which she's caused herself. She's like, Todd, I'm ready to deal with you. Punch me, do it!
I'll see you in court.
Okay, so you're gonna sue him, but is he gonna face criminal charges? Because surely those are more impactful. What's he gonna get out of you? A small fine? I mean, come on.
Babe.
You shouldn't have done that. He'll remember that for years. If he does go to prison, he'll just find it useful. And then Daredevil drops from the sky. Luckily, it wasn't every man she smashed, because then we would have found out the true horror of It's Raining Men. It kind of just ends up in a red mush. He's like, oh, did I miss everything? Well, not everything. I'm happy to see you. Maybe we could get half a plate of chips after all. Oh, are they a thing? They're not a thing, no. What you've just done there is assume an inherent sense of value which doesn't exist in Jen.
That if you sign this, you go back to prison for 10 years for violating your parole.
You are a terrible lawyer. Okay, so do you understand that if you sign this, you just go back to prison, right? Okay, that's... you're just informing him of what happens. You're supposed to be getting him off. Dahlia, no wonder they paid you next to nothing and you went bankrupt immediately.
It's the karmic price I pay for my actions.
See, that's him taking accountability for his own actions. Something which Jen has never had to do. And the one time the show tried to make her, she She changed all of reality to avoid being responsible for herself. Jen's kryptonite, responsibility and the truth. The person that should be going to prison in this scene is Jen, for everything she's done over this series. Not that that'll happen, because she went and complained to the manager. So with that, she goes and takes Daredevil to meet her parents. I do have to wonder if that's typical behavior for her in One Night Stands, that they're just so used to it at this point. Oh, have you met my daughter Jen? She's a rampant slag. But they start interviewing about his practice and where it's located. Oh, it's in Hell's Kitchen, but that means it's not very wealthy. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to help people that don't make any money. But you do make money, right? Basically, everyone at the table is eyeing him up as a prospect for her, as a boyfriend. They're making sure he can provide for a family. They're actually doing the responsible part of a family. If only Jen did something like this, she'd be a lot better off.
And Rebecca, you don't ask people how much money they make.
There's absolutely no way you believe that if you've been on a swiping app.
But you do make some money, right? It's very expensive raising kids in LA.
Notice how the dad is just desperately trying to convince himself that his daughter is not a rampant whore. No, they're gonna get together, marry, and have kids. Because it's my daughter, and I don't want her to think of that way. And I don't know why she's brought this random bloke around to my house who she's basically just smashing for a bit. Why are you doing that to your father? And why is he letting you?
I did not think the conversation was going that way.
Where did you think it was going to go when she brought you round to the parents' house? Mind you, having met Jen, I can understand why you just thought her parents would be as bad as she is.
Every conversation is going in that direction, so...
He is so desperately in denial about what his daughter is, it's incredible. And if we've learned anything this episode, it's definitely down to the mom's influence, how she turned out exactly how she did.
I really am. I'm just visiting.
He's like, no, your daughter really does just give it out for anybody for half a plate of chips. He's really trying to break it gently to him. Maybe you want to get that one under control. It has been 36 years. You probably should have had a word with her by now, dude. But then Hulk arrives and introduces his kid. Gamma radiation not have an impact then? No.
Cousin of the Hulk has been cleared of her previous conviction.
How? Literally never gets held accountable for her own actions. What a wonderful life of privilege she must lead. And what is the lesson that she thinks has to be applied to everyone else that isn't her?
People like Todd Phelps have to be held responsible for their actions.
There you go. She-Hulk, literally immune to accountability, responsibility, and anything that might actually damage her life. But everyone else, oh, they should be held responsible for their actions, and I'm the one that's gonna do it. One rule for me and one for thee. To the point where I will just even get reality changed to bend around me to obtain my will. Because I am quite possibly the most privileged character in all of the MCU. I'm going to be miserable due to my own decisions and then blame it on everybody else.
The message we're sending is that if you attack, harm, or harass innocent people, I'm coming for you.
No, the message you're sending is that all of society will crumble if they follow any of your life lessons. Because unlike you, everyone else that follows those same horrible decisions don't actually have a superpowered god being that can change reality for them, and they'll just stay sad and miserable. Like the writer's room.
You mean in the courtroom or as a superhero?
No, in the writer's room.
Both.
And the writer's room. Empowerment.
Difficult diva of law herself.
That's one name for her, but there are many out there across the land who have seen her and they have judged her. Oh, in the final ending credit scene, Wong comes along and breaks the Abomination out of prison, so he doesn't actually hold himself accountable after all. So at least he's just like Jen then. In the end, what did we learn from this legal comedy? Well, they didn't know anything about the law, and it wasn't a comedy, and every other message in the show was repulsive. Jen is a horrible character, and terrible life lesson, and it seems just like the writers put all of their actual life stories into the character. This was them, their personal blog, and what can we learn from that about the Californian lifestyle? Career comes first, and anything that would provide you any sort of satisfaction or meaning in your life, it comes a dead last. And despite the fact that this constant hunt for career is making them miserable and empty, they just keep doubling down on it to the point where She-Hulk, even at the end, even when she got a god to come in and bend all of reality around her, she still just doubled down and went straight back to the career. The very thing that had left her lonely and miserable all the way through the series. This is a character who knows that she's miserable, will actually say that she wants one thing when she really wants another. Like, oh no, I don't want to be She-Hulk. And then when he gets taken away, oh, I wish I was She-Hulk. But does absolutely nothing to change it, because she never wants to be held accountable or responsible for her own actions. She just wants everyone else to be held responsible for her actions instead. It's always somebody else's fault, because she can't make a mistake with her decisions. No, it's always someone else to blame. Probably some of those people on the internet, or just men in general. The funny thing about the show is, literally every single one of Jen's problems wouldn't have existed if she was just married with kids. But instead, we're going to share those half a plate of fries until we can no longer share those half a plate of fries. And what's she gonna do then? No, Jen never wanted to be a superhero, never wanted to do anything for anyone else, because she's not a hero. She's selfish, narcissistic, and entitled. She has all of the character traits of a complete and utter villain, and we're supposed to support her in some way. We're supposed to want her to succeed, and yet everyone goes around telling her how amazing she is. Matt Murdock comes in and tells her how much good she can do, even though there's literally no sign of that happening whatsoever. Instead, she goes around rampantly destroying property, fighting people, putting others in danger, just killing people, and never once being held accountable for it. Until the one time she was, when the police held her accountable for almost murdering a person. They were the villains. It wasn't her fault. Somebody else's. And then everything just gets taken away. All of the charges just gets dropped because she complained to the manager about them. The lesson here is it's never your fault. It's always somebody else's. And if you just whine loudly enough, then someone will bail you out of your problems. It's an absolutely disgusting and repulsive moral message for a show. But hey, this is Disney. I don't know what else I expected. What I do know is this was a terrible show. It was written awfully, and they made an absolutely repulsive character in the process. But at the same time, it was very fun to rip apart. It was very fun to take the piss out of, and I really hope it gets a season 2. Because if this was season 1, if this is what you thought was a good finale, I would love to see how far you can sink in season 2. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. More videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.